She's one of the best investigators I had.
But?
She's different.
In what way?
In every way.
Something wrong with the report?
Anything you chose not to do.
Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara. It must be the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Thanks, Pat, for being here once again on RealScreenReviews.com. That's guest critic Pat Devlin joining myself, movie critic Nick Yacobucci, as always, for my favorite website, RealScreenReviews.com. And our next review is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It opened on December 21st, 2011, and it stars 007 himself, Daniel Craig, newcomer Rooney Mara, Stellan Skarsgård, and comes to us from director David Fincher, one of my favorite filmmakers, who directed Seven, Fight Club, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it back over to my guest critic, Mr. Devlin, to tell us a little bit about The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
The Dragon Tattoo is about a 40-year-old mystery that Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara are hired to solve.
That's pretty much sums it up. Now we saw the original. Did you like this one? Did you not like this one? Do you think it measures up to the original one that we saw? Do you think it doesn't? Is it one better or not? What do you think?
I think it betters the other one in that it tells more about the relationships of the characters, whereas the other one, which was not as long, didn't establish.
Right. I understand exactly what you're saying. And I'll tell you what I think helps this movie right off the bat. I think it's just as good as the Swedish film that we saw. But I think just Hollywood has more money and more technicians, and I think the more polished, finished product is better. But the story that's being told is just about the same. I loved this movie. I thought it was great. I think that Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara stepped into these roles almost seamlessly. I mean, they just come in and make these characters their own. And even though this is a really established trilogy worldwide, it never felt like they were, excuse me, trying to imitate anybody or anything like that. I thought, just if I could real fast, newcomer Rooney Mara, who had a bit part in The Social Network, also directed by David Fincher. This is a bold, risky role. She brings off every moment just absolutely fantastic. She has a character full of rage, full of hate, but at the same time full of sensuality and mystery and intrigue. Just a great, great character. Pat, what do you think?
Oh, I thought it was great. Daniel Craig filled in the role solid. Rooney Mara, I was surprised at how well she played.
Because Noomi Rapace set the bar pretty high as this character, Elizabeth Salander, and I thought it was going to be really difficult for any actress to step into these shoes, and she did it very, very well.
And I do know that a lot of fans were disappointed that she didn't reprise her role for the American version, because she also speaks English.
Now she is. Yeah, she's got a nice big part in Sherlock Holmes Part 2. But you know what? She said that she did everything that she's going to do with that role, and I respect her for that. Let somebody else take the ball and run with it. You know, I'll tell you, I only have one problem with this entire film. I thought that the other movie that we saw really went out of its way to be ambiguous as to who the killer was going to be. And when I watched this film, it kind of all pointed into one direction, and I'm not going to give anything away. I'm just going to say, sitting there, I kind of said, I think this is who the whodunit is going to be. Other than that, I thought once again Trent Reznor scored this film wonderfully.
The music was beautiful.
Absolutely, and what an opening segment with that Led Zeppelin song, and I don't know where that came from. That was absolutely mind blowing. It was fantastic. I don't know, this movie just clipped right along. I mean, at 2 hours and 40 minutes, did it feel long to you? Because I didn't think it felt long at all.
No, it actually flew by.
Yeah, it really did. And I'll tell you, Fincher has really a real talent for the slow reveal. Like, he never gives you any more information at one time than you need. And as the movie progressed, he just little by little gave you more and more. And it really was a great time at the movie theater. It really was.
And I got to give Hollywood credit. They didn't shy away from the controversial scenes, and they didn't Hollywoodize it, as I like to say. Because I'm a big fan of the foreign films, and one complaint I always had was when Hollywood remake a foreign film, they try to put their own little happy ending spin on it, like what happened with The Vanishing. Right,
I know exactly what you're talking about. It just kind of gets, like you said, Hollywoodized. I think that's what. One other little thing maybe is, well, not even really a thing. Fincher stacks the deck with like talented actors, and even the most minor character in this film is like a known actor. And you know, sometimes I have to sit back and say, you know, did he really need Robin Wright for that 5 minutes in the beginning and 5 minutes at the end? But I mean, he really, you know, it kind of like it seemed like some of these talented actors were kind of wasted, but maybe he just really wanted to, like I said, stack the deck with the best acting talent that he could, and that's exactly what he did. I think this is a great film. Well, Pat, what is your real screen review rating. How many stars are you going to give
I'll
it?
have to give it another 4 stars.
Another 4 stars. 4 stars out of 4 from my guest critic, Pat Devlin. And I think I'm going to be right there with you. And I'm going to say Nick's real screen review is definitely going to be 4 stars out of 4. I think this is one of the year's best films, one of the year's best thrillers. And like I said, at 2 hours and 40 minutes, it flew by. I couldn't even believe that it was that long.
Personally, it was my favorite movie of the year.
Oh, that's cool. It definitely made my top 10. And the thing that stinks is I had it written on a note card. And when I did that review with guest critic Chris Bucci, I think I forgot to mention it because I was going through a whole list. But this was actually one of my 10 favorite films, even if I forgot to mention it on the other review. So I'm glad
I saw The
got to say
Creature. And Conan.
How about that? Unfortunately, he saw Conan. I feel bad for him for that. I'll tell you that. Well, Pat, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me, Nick. It's a pleasure.
Always nice having you back. And hopefully, if they make the sequels of these, you'll be back to review The Girl Who Played with Fire and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. All right. All right. Well, and you can't get a better rating than 4 stars and 4 stars. So I'd say go out of your way to see The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And remember, people, we're not always right.
Well, I had to give my catchphrase, Nick. Don't bring the kids.
And remember, people, we're not always right, but only when it comes to the movies. And thank you for your attention.